So this is a video from Genshin Impact's official YouTube channel, and I used it for the post-mortem video about a week ago. And when I was editing, I noticed something that kind of made me laugh. But I don't think a lot of people are going to understand why I find it funny. It's going to be kind of hard to explain, but I'm going to try and explain it anyway, because I just find it so funny. So this is the name of the video anyway, and it's like a behind the scenes video showing, like, there's a lot of like a B-roll footage of them like working on the game and stuff, like, and you can see from this screenshot here we've got basically the UI for the Unity engine, because that's basically what Genshin Impact uses. It's the Unity engine, which you can actually download for free and like learn to use it if you want. There's loads of tutorials on the internet, and that's kind of part of the thing that makes this funny. I mean, I could be like reading into it a bit wrong and not really understanding like what the code is on the screen that I'm seeing. There could be more context to the code on the screen. Because it's greyed out, but I'll show you that in a minute. But to basically explain what's going on here, so you've got Barbara here, and let's just assume that Barbara is selected in the program, and you've got this little section at the side here, and these are all components. It's probably the best way to explain it, that are tied to Barbara the object. So at the top, I can't really make out what that is. It could be a script that has various various variables and stuff that you can turn on and off that change certain aspects of what's going on. Usually what you'll have at the very top of most game objects, which is what Barbara would be, is a location, so a XYZ location. You'll have orientation, so a XYZ rotation, and then you'll have a scale, which is XYZ rotation. So this is the thing that I found extremely funny. So this line here, I'm not 100% sure, because set active is a syntax that often means to make a game object turn itself on. So what you would do is you'd have whatever this is here. This is a reference to the game object, and then you have .set active, and then in here you'll have true or false usually. .game object .set active. So this is what I thought this was, but you can see game object .set active false. This is not the same thing here. This is something completely different. So what I'm thinking here is this could be this at the start could be a script, and this is a method within that script called set active. But you don't need to worry about that. Right, that bit's not important. The bit that's important is this view.transform.find, and then in brackets you've got a string. Now a string is basically text. It's almost like a URL address or a folder address, because it's like a splash. So find splash, within splash get, I think that says progress, and then I don't know what this is. It might be another slash, or that might be the end of it. That might be the quotations, and then there's a comma here, and I'm not sure what because I never use transform.find. This is the point I'm making. Transform.find is not good practice. Transform.find is the type of thing you find in YouTube tutorials teaching you how to basically learn Unity from like a very basic level. And it's an easy way to basically look in the game and go, look, I'm trying to find this object. Here's the name of the object, or the things within it. So just to kind of explain what splash/progress could be. If we take the example of Barbara again, you could have transform.find Barbara / torso / clavicle / upper arm / lower arm / hand, right? So that would be me trying to find the bone for Barbara's hand within Barbara, right? I know this sounds a bit complicated, but the reason I put that many in there is to kind of show that there's like you can make a big hierarchy. So you can have inside Barbara, you'll have like a skeleton for all her individual bones, and the way you find the hand is by putting in a long address that points to the hand. Now, the problem with this is you're searching for an object through strings, and the reason why you shouldn't ever use transform.find is because you're trying to find an object through strings. So if you imagine inside Barbara, there is like in her first layer, the first kind of, you've like heard, they call them children. So Barbara's the parent, and then inside Barbara is the children, and that would be like, that could be various things, such as the bones are probably like the best one. The actual weapon that you've got equipped might end up being within Barbara somewhere as well. That's so when Barbara moves, the item she's holding also moves with her. You might have like a special bone, which is like her catalyst bone that you connect the well, if you like, a good example is if you think like when Barbara attacks, the catalyst will be like by her hand, but then she'll have an animation where she'll put the catalyst away and it appears on her back. So you might have two separate bones in Barbara, which once she's going to put the weapon on her back, it switches from her hand to her back, and then they do like a little effect in between to kind of transition it. The reason this is bad is so it goes, okay, find splash. So it goes through all these little children within Barbara and goes, okay, let's look through the individual names of these objects. And strings, comparing strings is slow because you're comparing each letter. You got to find the correct one that matches that thing that says splash. So you're going, okay, this isn't splash. We go for the next one. This one isn't splash. Go for the next one. This isn't splash. Go to the next one until eventually you find splash, and then what you then have to do is look in Splash and then look at Splash's children, and we got to look for progress now, or whatever this one is. I think it says out effects or something like that. So it's basically then got to go through all the children in Splash and find the correct one that is progress, and you might have like another 5 in there. So you can see this is basically a slow process. It's okay to do it once or twice, but if you're doing it for everything in your game, it's pretty bad. It's going to make your game run like crap. The way you should be doing it is through a direct reference. So you create a variable, and then you can if I go back to this, you have like you set up a direct reference, and you can have like a serialized window here, and you can like drag and drop. Like you can go into Barbara here, because this is where all like the objects are, and you can drag and drop over here. So if you want a reference to her hand, you can literally set up the reference straight away, and then it's kind of like hard coding it so that instead of going through a massive list of stuff and searching each name individually, it basically just looks up a number and goes, okay, that's the one, and it's basically instantaneous in comparison to doing the other way. So that's the correct way you're supposed to do it, right? And I bet you're thinking, this isn't all funny. This is just stupid nitpicking like, on my part. But basically what I'm saying is this is bad practice. And I was trying to work out what the hell was going on here, because there's a lot of other stuff going on here that I don't personally use, but it says stuff about versions and stuff. So this stuff might not ever happen. It might only happen on certain builds. It could be like a mobile version or whatever version, and this type of code is only ran when it's that type of code. But you can see it's used up here as well. Transform.find, 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 transform.find. There's loads of transform.finds. I'm not sure of the context. There's probably a valid reason why they're doing it, and it may not be something that even runs in the game ever, so it might not be a problem. But if you think if the code is littered with these transform.finds, it's not good. It's not good for the game. But this is why I find it funny. Right. So this is my little headcanon. We've got these two people here, right? So let's just say for argument's sake, this screen here and this screen here are the same screen. This is my theory. This guy here, you can see he looks quite young. Maybe early 20s, maybe even like late teens, right? And then this guy, he looks like he's probably in his 30s. So what I think is this guy is an intern, right? He's only just started working at Majora, and he's trying to, and he's writing a program, and what he's basically doing is he's doing practices that he learned from YouTube, which is where they tell you to use transform.find, which is bad practice. Do not do it. So this is what this kid's been doing. He's been making a program that with like about 50 transform.finds. And then he's come over and he's looked at his code and he's like, right. And then like you can see, he's like pointing at the screen. And he's like, you shouldn't be doing this. Don't do transform.find. Don't do that. Remove all this. And he's like, what? Really? And that's my theory as to why. Like I said, this could be like completely valid of what they're doing here, because I don't know like their workflow or whatever. But my headcanon's going to remain this, because I just find it funny that basically this is like the intern putting in really bad code, and the older guy's just like telling him not to do it. It's like, dude, don't do that. Don't do this. This is wrong. Anyway, that's kind of the end of the video. That's all I wanted to talk about. I kind of rambled on a little bit there, but you know, it's good. It's all in good fun. So maybe somebody else who maybe knows programming, maybe knows what's going on here. I just don't know what this line here is. Something, I can't read that. Underscore version. I just don't know why you would be using transform.find. I don't know the uses for it. I used to use it in the early days, and it's not a good thing to be doing at all. Anyway, goodbye. I'll see you later.